guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I wash and process sheep fleeces to make carded bats. So we're starting the video in my wool shed. This is where I keep all my raw unwashed fleeces. I keep them in dumpy bags which have been separated into different categories. In here are all my Herdwick fleeces from my own girls over the years. In this bag is a range of different breeds, including Swaledale, Leicester long wool, Suffolk and alpaca wool. Then moving on to what the majority of the bags contain, which is, can you guess it? It's Valley Blacknose wool. That will probably not come as a surprise to most of you. In this bag I keep fleeces I have purchased from a lady fairly local to me, and in the last bag I have my own two boys' fleeces, which I still need to put time aside to make my own two needle felted versions of them. So as you can see, I have a fair few I need to sort through and get washed, and now the weather is starting to get better, it's the perfect time to start. I don't tend to wash whole fleeces in the winter as I like to let them air dry, and if you're in the UK you will know we haven't had the weather for that until now. My mum and I shear our 5 sheep ourselves. We are not fast by any means, but we like to take our time so we can be careful and not accidentally nick or cut them. So this video is going to focus on washing and processing a Herdwick fleece. The first step I take is to skirt the fleece. This basically means to take away any mucky bits. I didn't have much to take off of this one as we tend to get rid of all the mucky bits as we shear them and keep that separated from the clean fleece. I also try to pick out as much hay and other vegetation at this stage. Once that is done, it's time to start washing. I use hot water and washing up liquid to remove the lanolin from the fleece. When placing the wool into the water, you need to be careful not to agitate it too much, otherwise it will start to felt together. I just gently push down all around to make sure all the wool is submerged into the water and then leave it to soak for around 30 minutes at a time. I will then empty the tub, put the fleece on a chair to let it drain completely and then repeat the process. So I'm now on my second wash. I will keep repeating this process until the water runs clear, as then I know I have gotten rid of the grease. Each fleece varies with how many soaks it will need. This one took 5 washes in hot soapy water, 2 soaks in washing detergent, and then 2 more washes in water to get rid of all the soap and detergent. Once I've finished the washing stage, I will lay the fleece across 2 chairs to drain before putting it on the washing line. I do this because the wool is quite heavy after coming out of the water. It also makes it easier to push down on it to get rid of any excess water. Once it has stopped dripping, I then put it onto the washing line to finish drying it. This is why you need a warmer sunny day to make sure it dries in time, as it will get damp in the evenings when the temperature decreases. If the fleece is still slightly damp, I will put it on the radiator for a short amount of time just to make sure it's completely dry. After the wool has dried, I put it in a bag ready for carding. I sell both carded and uncarded Herdwick wool on my Etsy, so I'm just doing a restock, starting with the carded wool. I like to just quickly hand card my wool before putting it through the drum carder, as it just helps it to card more smoothly. I usually use 2 hand carding brushes, but I had left one in my wool shed, so I'm only using one here, so it did take slightly longer than normal. Once I have lightly carded the wool with the hand brush, I then put the wool onto my drum carder to make the bats. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to use a drum carder. I personally find it easier and quicker when processing a fleece to add the wool to the main storage drum instead of putting it through the feeder first. Obviously I have sped up the clips as this video would be over an hour long if I played it at normal speed, but you want to turn the handle slowly when doing this. Once I have enough fibres on the drum, I will then ease the fibres off using a porcupine quill and just gently remove it from the carder. I will repeat this process 3 times for each bat I make. Then it's time to roll the bats up. I love the different tones of grey you get with Herdwick wool. I personally find it's a lovely wool to work with. I then put the wool in 100-gram bags ready to sell on my Etsy. As well as carded bats, I also sell 100 grams of uncarded Herdwick wool, which I like to use as top coats for my needle felted Herdwick sheep I make. And that's it. That's the whole process of making carded bats. It does take quite a bit of time to produce, but I have a real sense of proudness knowing I've made these bats from my own sheep. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Bye guys!